Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a closer look at something called Norumbega, a name that appears on many old maps of North America. What's striking is that Norumbega is often given a place of honor, depicted with castles and what look like large structures. This place was once described as a city of wealth and grandeur, but like so many pieces of our history, it's now dismissed as nothing more than legend. And yet, if it were just legend, why take the time to put it so prominently on a detailed map? If you're familiar with this realm of alternative research, you'll know that many of us believe parts of our history have been obscured, intentionally or otherwise. That includes the possibility that many of our so-called old buildings in the Americas were actually pre-existing structures, later repurposed by settlers. Some refer to this line of inquiry as Tartaria, and while the name may vary, the core idea remains a hidden past, potentially erased or overwritten. A good example to consider are the World's Fairs. Here we're looking at the 1904 Louisiana Purchase Exposition. We are told these immense fairgrounds, complete with classical architecture, water features, grand halls, and hundreds of ornate buildings, were all temporary and torn down shortly after. The logistics seem questionable at a time when the population and infrastructure were supposedly very limited. In this community, some of us believe these fairs served another purpose: to take credit for and then erase parts of a lost past. So with that in mind, today's hypothesis is this: Norumbega may not have been a fantasy, it may have been a tangible city that left traces behind. On this old map, you can see Nova Scotia poking out into the ocean, and across from it is where Norumbega sits. There is a large inlet, which seems to correspond today with the mouth of the Penobscot River. On the old maps, we can see Norumbega is situated right at the fork of the river. You'll also note the red coloration, possibly indicating red brick. So let's take a look at the town of Orono and the University of Maine just above it. We're told the University of Maine was established in 1865 as a land grant from the federal government with a build date of 1868, but it's worth asking whether the buildings were pre-existing on the land. The campus resembles a small city of its own, and the level of early craftsmanship suggests serious planning and labor. Take a look at this building, originally named Brick Hall. We're told it burned down in 1936. Brick Hall isn't exactly a creative or proud name for such a beautiful structure, and there's a recurring theme in this research: beautiful brick buildings often destroyed by fire, with little record of who built them in the first place. Not far down the Penobscot River is the city of Bangor. Again, we find elegant and refined architecture, stonework, spires, and brick that rival much, if not all, of what we build in modern times. Why do small remote towns like this often contain such elaborate structures when we were told the population was very small? And then there's this massive ornate building labeled a mental hospital. This is also a pattern we've seen across the country: enormous grand structures built in sparsely populated areas as insane asylums. In this case, we're told 145 people were transferred in right away, a number that hardly justifies the scale of the architecture in my opinion. Since we're on the East Coast, let's also take a moment to look at Washington D.C, another supposed US-built city, but one that's filled with monumental, old world style buildings. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope this gave you something to think about, and have an awesome day.